Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sabeel Center. Sabeel Center is a strategic community initiative of Ifanka, global leader in the halal certification process. The center is dedicated to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and provide thought leadership to our community with a series of lectures, exhibits, and classes. The center is based in Des Plaines, a northwestern suburb of Chicago. American Quran exhibit. Right now we are at the American Quran exhibit at Sabeel Center. This exhibit is based on the work of Los Angeles-based artist Sandow Work, who created paintings based on Quranic stories, but within American context. He aims to depict the Quran as an American religious text. The work is based on his research on Islam in general and the Quran in particular over a 10-year period. Why is it called American Quran? It's artwork, an art project by an American artist and his rendition of Quranic stories with a contemporary American landscape. This is an art exhibit, not a Quran exhibit per se. Has done all 114 surahs, chapters of the Quran. They're scattered all over the globe in various museums and galleries, as well as in some private collections. So it's almost impossible to get all of them here. We have 11 surahs in exhibit at Sabeel. These surahs were available as a collection at Catherine Clark Gallery in San Francisco, and that's where we have loaned this exhibit from. The surahs are in no particular order or significance. One of the aims of the project is to take a religious text unfamiliar to most Americans and place it into the context of daily American life. The overall intention was to attempt to make the Quran seem less foreign to average Americans and to convey that the message of the Quran is meant for all human beings, not just those who are Muslims already. Thus, the proper title of the project would be The Quran for Americans, but it doesn't read as nicely. In Sandow's own words, what could this message mean to me on a daily basis? And if the Quran is indeed a divine message to all people, what does it mean to an individual American in the 21st century? The exhibit opened at Sabeel Center on July 20th, 2018 and is now open to the public till Saturday, September 22nd. To see specific dates and times when you can come and view the exhibit, please look up Sabeel Center on Eventbrite or Facebook. Please remember to register on Eventbrite as we request no walk-ins. Hope to see you at one of the tours soon. Thank you. Exhibit at the conference hall on the second floor of Sabeel Center is Surah number 28, Al-Qasas, the story. The end of the surah signifies the transitory nature of this world compared to the life hereafter. As with the entire American Quran project, in some instances there's a scene of a gardener, a police investigation, and the ruins of Oklahoma Federal Building bombing. The passages discuss the judgment of God and reminds us of the cities the Lord has destroyed in the past. Hujurat, the private apartments. The purpose of the surah is to teach the readers about the social manners and has comprehensive guidelines to make a peaceful and harmonious society. Specifically, the national and racial distinctions that cause universal corruption in the world have been condemned. Throughout the project, Sandow intentionally avoids depicting people or places that are thought of as specifically Islamic. However, in this surah, he wanted to depict the suburb of Detroit and to acknowledge that it is perhaps the most Islamic of American cities. And thus, there is a mosque on the right side of the page. The house on the left is his childhood home before he moved to California as a child. Surah 45, Al-Jathiyah, the kneeling. The 2 pages of this surah depict a panoramic street scene in New York. Much of the project aims to wrestle with the conflicting aspects of our daily lives and our spiritual lives as we go about our daily routines. On the first page, we see a group of Jews outside a synagogue, along with the passage, "To the children of Israel, we gave the book and wisdom and the gift of prophecy, and we provided them with good things and favored them above all peoples." The image carries across to the following page spread, in which people are entering the subway and listening to the headphones as they walk along the street lines. The symbolism of the headphone may be that the divine messages are addressed to individuals for all time, and that, like a headphone, one can pick up at any time. Fajr, the Daybreak. The surah takes its name from its first verse, by the daybreak. Here the artist paints what an ordinary American is likely to observe at dawn on any typical day. A scene shows daybreak in an American suburb with the sky lightning, a garbage truck picking up the trash, and a newspaper on the lawn. The American Quran are meant to represent contemporary life in the US and include images from all of the states and places where American troops were in action. For scenes of Chicago, look at Surahs 24 and 35, which are not an exhibit at Sabeel, but they're part of the overall exhibit. In Surah 11 here, the imagery depicts an orchard, a man building a canoe, and a ship aground that accompany passages about Prophet Noah and his ark. The final image is of the ruins of an earthquake, which reminds us of life's fragility. Iron. The surah takes its name from its verse 25, we sent down iron. The 3 pages in the surah again depict the mundane aspects of contemporary life. There's a scene of workers in office cubicles, a scene of workers at lunch in a sushi restaurant, and a scene of a parking lot. The images are depicted in a flattened perspective, meant to imitate the style of painting of traditional Persian miniature paintings, in which all of the people are on the same or of the same scale, and the land seems tilted. The images go along with the passage, verse 20. Know that the life of this world is but diversion and distraction and show, the cause of boasting and greed and striving for more and more property and children. She who disputes. The surah talks about an unjust social custom in pre-Islamic times which was oppressive to wives. Someone would call his wife mother and thus separate from her but would not give her the divorce. Allah condemned this custom in the Quran as the rights of women are protected. The images in Surah 58 depict a laundromat and people reading and looking at their cell phones while clothes are washed and dried. For Sandow, going to a laundromat was the absolute worst thing in his life, and here he wanted to depict the banality of it. It accompanies passages about Judgment Day and the afterlife, things of such importance to internal lives while we go about our boring tasks. The sign on the window of free Wi-Fi suggests the way messages are received from the sky as if sent down from the heavens. One minute. 34, Saba or Sheba. This is a 2-page surah that also covers many varied topics throughout its text. The first page is an image of a science lab and technicians working. An image related to verse 3 in the surah, which reads, not so much as a particle, either in the heavens or in the earth, escapes him. There, nothing is smaller than that, or anything larger, which is not in the book. The image on the second page refers to the day-to-day elements of life in America, particularly those which might seem moments farthest from the contemplation of religious matters. However, it is just those moments which make up life and are cited as moments when God is present. 35, Fajr, the originator. The surah takes its name from its title, which describes God as the originator of the heavens and the earth in the first verse. Although it is not readily apparent, the 2 scenes in the surah are meant to depict everyday events in life and are set in Chicago. Note the Sears Tower visible in the center distance of the auto repair shop. The passage refers to the winds that raise the clouds aloft, and no female gives birth without his knowledge. The inset on the first page is of a child being born, done shortly after the birth of Sandow Burke's own daughter. The other scene of the car shop is meant to convey the mundane aspects of our lives, yet even while we go about our daily routines, we should ponder the afterlife. The inset on the page is of a sea turtle, which reflects on the verse, he would not leave a single creature on the surface of the earth. Surah 19, Maryam or Mary. The surah is named for Mary, Maryam in Arabic, and is the only surah named after a female figure and the only woman mentioned by name in the Quran. Obviously, Mary represents a unique connection between the 3 monotheistic faiths. This is a 3-page surah depicting a corner bodega with a mural of the Virgin of Guadalupe that accompanies passages about Mary. The other 2 pages depict different churches that illustrate passages about those who worship others. Surah 2, Al-Baqarah, the cow, which takes its name from the cow mentioned in verse 67. Throughout the project, the images depicted are metaphors for the messages in the text, sometimes in obvious ways, such as scenes of farms and markets and passages that talk of the bounty of food provided by the Lord, and sometimes more obscure. The images on these pages are a campfire, a funeral, which reminds us of the fleetingness of life, a wedding, which accompanies passages about wives and daughters, and a homeless person, which reminds us to be caring and to give up. Prophet Muhammad said, everything has a zenith. The zenith of the Quran is Surah Al-Baqarah. Holding it is a blessing indeed. This is something that you will see at the beginning of the exhibit. As you move up to the stairs to the conference hall on the second floor of Sabeel Center, you're going to come across this mihrab, a ceramic tile made by Elise Sandow's wife, who's an artist in her own right. She has depicted two verses from the Quran. The first one is, patience is the best course, Surah 16, verse 126, followed by, be modest in your bearing, Surah 31, verse 19. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of Sabeel Center, we hope you are as excited about this exhibit as we have been for the past several months. This is something very unique in Chicago and a unique exhibit about the Quran. It's not a Quran exhibit per se though. It is an artwork and an art exhibit. We look forward to receiving you at the opening night, and after the opening night, the exhibit will be here for about 2.5 months till late September. There will be well over 40 opportunities for you to come see this show throughout the week. Thank you very much and look forward to seeing you all.